let go and let God. I had a difficult time with that, letting go and letting God. But I have to say, it's probably one of the most beneficial things I've ever done. And I do it over and over and over again. You control freaks will love this one. And I don't know if it's because I'm an alcoholic, or is it just because I'm human? But the thing that really ticks me off is when other people don't act right. If they just act the way I think they should act, everything will be fine. But no, they don't act right. And to make matters worse, I can't make them act right. Letting go of that responsibility, letting go of trying to control other people, letting go of situations, not just letting go, but letting God. You know, I can remember in my early days in the program hearing people say, give it to God, give it to God, put it in a God box. You ever heard that one? Got a friend of mine that makes God boxes and gives them out to people in the program. That's kind of cool. Beautiful little, they look like jewelry boxes almost. Just in case you don't know what a God box is, because I didn't for quite a number of years, but a God box is just a box that you keep somewhere handy in your home, and when something comes up that you can't handle on your own, that maybe if you had the power to control it, you would, but you know you don't have the power to control it, and so you let go and give it to God. You put it in the God box. You write it down on a piece of paper and you put it in the God box. You let it go. You give it to God. The interesting thing about that later on down the line, you can open the box maybe a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, 6 months, doesn't matter. It's very interesting when you open that box and you read the things that you tried to control, but instead you let them go and you gave them to God. The reason it's interesting is because you'll find that most of those things have worked out just fine without your assistance. God handled it. Anyway, letting go and letting God, that's one way of doing it. Physically giving it to God. Personally, I've never used a God box. I know how it works, and it's cool. It sounds wonderful. It sounds like, that's quite an experience. And I still may try that someday. But that's not the way I was, taught by my sponsor to let go and let God. It was just through prayer. God, you're in control of this. Please take this from me. You handle it, because obviously you are so much better at this. Now that all started like in the third step, I guess, where we actually make that decision to turn our will and our lives, which are uncontrollable by us, we turn those over to God. It seems to work out better when God's in control. You ever notice that? I always think at first, wait a minute, God, that's not the way it's supposed to happen. Here, let's do it this way. And then I'm trying to force my will upon God. I'm so glad he doesn't listen. Don't take my advice, God. You got this, pal. Because I sure don't. One thing for sure, though, about letting go and letting God, after a while you get used to doing it. Not only used to doing it, but it builds trust. It builds trust in God. Because you see how it always seems to work out so much better. And it makes letting go and letting God the next time even easier. Make sense? So today is a shell day out here. A lot of shells washed up on the shore overnight. And so you'll notice I'm looking down a lot. I apologize for that, but I can't help it. It's funny, I collect shells and I don't know what the heck I do with them. It's a little cloudy out here this morning, but it's still very pretty. And I keep my windbreaker in the van at all times because you never know what it's going to be like down here. It's not that it's cold, but the wind seems to cut right through you a little bit. I can't say that I've mastered the art of letting go and letting God, but I've certainly gotten much better at it than I was in the beginning. We practice these principles in all our affairs. Step 3 is where we make the decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. And as we understand Him, boy, there's a video, huh? I don't want to get into that except to say that I still don't completely understand Him. But I trust Him. And I know He loves me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand Him. And the tall order in that is with complete abandon. That's what it says. And how it works. Complete abandon. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked His protection and care with complete abandon. Complete abandon. That means that we asked His protection and care and never try to take it back. We've done it with complete abandon. That's a tall order. What it tells me is if the abandonment is incomplete, it's half measures and avails us nothing. So that's something that I really feel like I have to work on a lot more than I have, and I think everybody does, because that's an area that's tough, man, to give it to God and never take it back again. I have to remind myself on a regular basis, Earl, those aren't your monkeys. This isn't your circus. Give it to God. You're not in charge of anything. That's a tough one to remember at all times. You know, I think, in my screwed up mind, that if everything would go according to Earl's plan, that everything would be fine. I have no idea why I think that, but I do. I still do to this day. You know, I could change the world if everybody would just stop and listen to Earl for a minute. Yeah, I could change the world, okay. I don't think it'd be for the better, not judging by my past record. Oh, goodness. So anyway, you know, hopefully you guys find a way to not only let go and let God, but do it with complete abandon. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. You know, letting go and letting God on a case-by-case basis, okay, that's doable. But with complete abandon? How well are you doing with that? Let me know in the comments, please, because I'd love to get some feedback on this one. Personally, I'm not so great at that. I've gotten good at giving it to God, but I have to remind myself to do that. It doesn't come naturally. I want to control things. I have no idea why I want to control things, but I do. So today, I'm going to concentrate on complete abandon. We'll see how that turns out. I'll let you know. Hey, you guys have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you again. Because I have no idea what tomorrow will bring.